The speakers talked about the fact that changing the cleanup criterion rule for 1,4-dioxane was a long time coming. We've heard concerns from citizens after the EPA revised their toxicology profile of 1,4-dioxane in 2010, and it took the state, I will admit, too long to get that changed. But in response to public input and requests, we were able to issue last October 27th, at the same day as the town hall meeting, an emergency rule for 1,4-dioxane for two pathways. One is the drinking water pathway, so that emergency rule that the DEQ issued in conjunction with the governor changed the number from 85 to 7.2 parts per billion. So since October of 2016, that's been the enforceable standard or criterion for 1,4-dioxane throughout Michigan, not just in Ann Arbor. That emergency rule provision only lasted 6 months, and there was one opportunity under the administrative procedures to extend that for up to 6 months if necessary. The initial thought by the department was that we were going to be able to have a comprehensive rule package for all 300 plus hazardous substances in our generic cleanup criteria rules by April, when the emergency rule was set to expire. For numerous reasons beyond DEQ's control, we weren't able to make that happen, so a decision was made again by the department and the governor to extend the emergency rule for the drinking water criterion in April of this year. So we've still got the 7.2 part per billion enforceable criterion, and Gelman's been voluntarily working with us to assure that nobody's drinking contaminated water above that enforceable number. When we extended the emergency rule in April, we did not include the 29 part per billion screening level that was originally in the October 2016 rule for the vapor intrusion pathway that was mentioned earlier. And here's why. When we developed the 29 parts per billion based on what we thought was current toxicological information and chemical physical properties of the chemical 1,4-dioxane. During public comment process on rules in the fall of 2016, a consultant working for somebody other than Gelman submitted a comment that got our attention, and we went back to the drawing board because their comment was that DEQ's number for screening for vapor intrusion for dioxane, which shows up listed as a volatile chemical on EPA's chemical profile, EPA's number was much higher than DEQ's in our emergency rule. So it turns out we did conclude that there was sufficient toxicological and chemical information available to plug all that information into our equations. We ended up, when we recalculated with our screening number for shallow groundwater for the volatilization to indoor air pathway, which for purposes of tonight I'll call vapor intrusion for shorthand, of 1,900 parts per billion, and based on what we know, about shallow groundwater in relation to deep groundwater, in part with information gained from an investigation that Gelman conducted in the late summer, early fall of 2016, supplemented by additional sampling that DEQ has done of shallow groundwater in the form of the surface expressions of groundwater, i.e. seeps, springs, and ponds, that the highest number Gelman detected in their investigation last fall was about 3.3 parts per billion, contrasted with 1,900 parts per billion. That was in shallow groundwater. Deeper groundwater concentrations nearer the source come closer to that 1,900 parts per billion number, but we didn't think that we needed to include the 1,900 in an emergency rule, so that's why it wasn't included. And